Come to me, honey.
Hot Blood is a 3D beat-em-up with a wacky and ridiculous story, equally goofy combat with some crazy ragdoll mechanics, and a bloody, low-poly art style where you'll find yourself slaying hordes of undead as a sexy heroine named Roxy, while you play dress-up in various spicy outfits. The story will begin with Roxy entering the local mall and trying on some new clothes in a dressing room, only to be interrupted by some undead. So she quickly throws herself together and heads out to slay hordes of undead as she searches for her lost boyfriend. The story will be told throughout some text-based cutscenes with some nice artwork, but the main focus here is pretty much on the gameplay and not the story. So it's goofy and fun, but I won't spoil it since it's not that big of a deal. Now, the core of the game is its gameplay, which is a beat-em-up style, but it's not your run-of-the-mill beat-em-up. It's heavily exaggerated and really goofy. Your basic moveset is a punch and a kick. You also have this sweep the leg move you can do, which is pretty crucial to knocking the undead off their feet and giving you a chance to pummel them.
Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that?
Although I will say that this part of it is good and bad. And it's one of my complaints is with this sweep the leg move, because when you do, you can't really hit the enemies. At least I didn't know how to do it consistently. So once you sweep them to the ground and knock them over, I had a really hard time hitting them while they're on the ground. You will level up throughout the game, and it'll tell you that you learn new moves, but these are all performed automatically by just pressing the few buttons that you use to pummel your foes. So there's no way to really forcibly ground hit enemies from what I can tell, other than sweeping the leg again, but that hits for very low damage compared to your punches and kicks. So that is one thing that I really didn't care for. The other part of the combat that I did not like is that every time you fight an enemy and you eliminate them, it goes into this slow motion sequence showing you kill them. Now, I'll admit, there's a lot of times where it looked really cool. Like it really did. The blood splatters everywhere. Maybe the enemy's body falls in a really weird way and it's kind of goofy and funny. But having every single enemy in the game die in slow motion gets incredibly old super quickly. Like, this took me about an hour and a half to play through, and after about 15 minutes or so, I was pretty tired of this mechanic. So one suggestion that I would immediately give to the developers, and to be perfectly honest, I'm a little perplexed that this option isn't there, is have a toggle to turn the slow-mo deaths off. If I just want to play through the game and pummel enemies, I don't want it to be slowed down for every single enemy. And you will fight hundreds of undead as you play through this. But with that said, I did enjoy playing through the game. It's really goofy and kind of has this retro aesthetic to it with its polygonal graphics. And then you have a lot of different outfits that you can unlock because the enemies will drop cash when they're eliminated, which will allow you to unlock these outfits, which do have different colors for each one in the menus. And you can change this totally on the fly because the game plays as pretty much one long sequence. It's not like, okay, you play level 1 and then you move to level 2. There are different stages, which in the mall area, initially it shows you right away that there is 30 for you to complete. But it's pretty much one big open area with no loading in between. There's weapons you can grab that are a lot of fun. There's a pistol and a chainsaw and bat. There's also like throwable weapons, which there's a ton of, and they're really goofy things at times, like dumbbells or shoes, a basketball. And throwing the different weapons at the zombies and watching just their head explode is super satisfying. And I think that's the part of the gameplay that they really wanted that slow-mo to emphasize, is how satisfying it is to eliminate the enemies. But again, it should be a toggle, because for some people like myself, it's going to get real old real fast. You can also collect soda bottles, which will refill your health.
Aw, how cute.
The difficulty felt pretty gradual, and I thought it had a nice flow to it throughout the game. And I will say that if you do happen to die, like maybe you go to heal and you get hit before you can get the heal off, it's not frustrating in the way that it handles continues. It checkpoints at the end of each stage, so you'll just have to replay the stage that you currently died on. The world is pretty fun to explore, in that there are some secrets to find hidden soda bottles, and there's little nooks and crannies and things that you can explore. It felt mostly linear in that they have it laid out in a way that you pretty much know where you should be going. They have these green arrows that point at areas that you need to clear of zombies. But they do encourage some exploration, as you will find some extra soda bottles that'll help you to stay alive. I had fun playing with the different outfits, changing it up, changing the colors, unlocking them. And if you really enjoy that aspect of it, and they're trying to cater to that adult male audience, there actually is, and this is exclusive to Steam, there are some naked outfits that you can purchase as separate DLC. Hot Blood has a pretty interesting premise, and one that as a beat-em-up fan, I did enjoy. And my only two main gripes were truly just not being able to consistently attack zombies after I swept them to the ground, and also, like I mentioned, the slow-mo. Other than that, I really didn't run into any bugs or issues. I liked the art style that they chose. The music was decent, nothing to really go crazy about, but it wasn't bad either, so it didn't hurt the experience. The game is also highly replayable in that once you defeat the final area of the game, it'll save your costumes and you can continue again and play through. So if you want to be a speedrunner, you can do that. There's achievements to unlock for the platforms that support it. It was a pretty enjoyable 90-minute romp for me. I tinkered with all of its different mechanics and trying all the different weapons and things like that, and found it to be enjoyable. Hot Blood is a game that overall I did enjoy my time with and can recommend if you are a fan of beat-em-ups and also enjoy playing a game where you do play as a scantily clad heroine. The premise and gameplay, the graphics, everything is just off the wall, really goofy, and just meant to be fun. And it is. So if this looked interesting to you, I highly recommend that you pick this up and play it for yourself, because it is fun. Just be conscious of the few things that I did mention, and understand that it is really simple and can be a bit frustrating at times, since even small things like trying to attack an enemy on the ground, or maybe trying to attack a specific enemy because the lock-on is automatic and could be a little bit wonky. Like, there are some little things there that might hinder your enjoyment, but they were minor and I did have fun. So I want to say thank you to East Asia Soft for the review code so that I could cover this one. I had fun with it. It was a lot different than beat-em-ups that I usually play, and even though it does have some issues, that's always a treat when something is different than things that I've played a million times before and isn't just a rehash. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you on my next video. Have a good one.
I like this.